A nationwide manhunt is underway right now for this man who escaped from an Ionia prison. He is considered very dangerous, and it is our top story at noon. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. His name is Michael Elliott, and he escaped from an Ionia County Correctional Facility last night, where he's serving 4 life sentences. Francesca Amaker spoke to officials this morning in Ionia and joins us live in the news center. Francesca, how did he get out?
Yeah, Siobhan, police say Elliott escaped the maximum security prison at the Ionia Correctional Facility, where he was serving a life sentence. It all began when authorities say Elliott, disguised in a white kitchen uniform, dug a hole and escaped through the prison fence just after 7 last night. Guards noticed Elliott was gone during a routine inspection around 9:30. Police say he abducted a woman at Knife Point in Ionia and crossed state lines in her Jeep Liberty. That woman eventually escaped at a gas station in Middlebury, Indiana, where she called police. Authorities are not sure where Elliott may be, but a Tennessee newspaper is reporting police in Nashville have been warned that Elliott has family in that area and he may be headed that way. Officials are also using family members for any possible leads.
We last night sent officers to all of his family members. We're trying to pull any kind of intelligence information from those folks to see where he might be going. And we do have a few leads on where he might be going, and we're working with law enforcement to follow up on that.
It was serving 4 life prison terms for the 1993 murders of 4 people near Saginaw. The killing reportedly stemmed from a botched robbery attempt by Elliott and 3 others looking for drug money. After shooting the victims at a nearby home, their house was set on fire to try to cover the murders. Michigan State Police are urging anyone with any information or sighting of Elliott to call 616-527-5616. 6 News has several crews working on this story and will have more tonight at 5 and 6 p.m. and also on WLNS.com throughout the afternoon. For now in the newsroom, I'm Francesca Amaker.
Coming up on 6 News at 5, a nationwide manhunt is on after a convicted Michigan killer escapes from an Ionia prison.
Now, from your local news leader, this is 6 News.
A nationwide manhunt continues after a convicted killer escapes a maximum security facility in mid-Michigan, and police say he's still on the loose. That's our top story this evening. Thanks so much for tuning in and being with us. I'm Jane Aldrich. We begin tonight with news of that prison break. What started just miles from us in Ionia County has turned into a nationwide manhunt for that convicted killer on the loose. Now, here's what we know. Police say Michael Elliott escaped from the Ionia prison after he somehow got past guards and worked his way through 2 fences. Police say he then abducted a woman in her car at Knife Point and took off with her in the vehicle. That was a 2004 red Jeep Liberty. That vehicle has since been found. The woman reportedly got away when Elliott stopped at a gas station in Middlebury, Indiana, right near the Indiana border. Now, authorities are not sure where Elliott could be at this point, but we do now have an alert out from Nashville police because he has relatives in Tennessee. Right now, northern Indiana residents are being told to stay home, stay behind locked doors after police located that Jeep Liberty. And at this moment, prison officials say they are investigating the incident to make sure that a dangerous situation like this does not happen again. Elliott was being held in the high security prison serving 4 life sentences for multiple murders. Shelby Miller joins us now live from our news center with the details of Elliott's dangerous history. Shelby?
Jane, these court documents describe a portion of Michael Elliott's violent past. The 40-year-old was serving time in prison for multiple first-degree murder convictions stemming from crimes he committed in 1993. Records show Elliott was 20 years old when he shot and killed 4 people during a robbery in mid-Michigan's Gladwin County. Police say Elliott and his accomplices were trying to steal money from a drug dealer. A few days later, police arrested Elliott and found the gun they say he used in the quadruple murder.
Shelby, thank you. 6 News also sat down with a family member of 2 of Elliott's 4 victims, and she tells us how this escape has brought back terrible memories from 20 years ago when her parents were murdered. And as you heard, the manhunt's still on for this man, Michael Elliott. Michigan State Police are asking for your help. They say if you know anything about this, to please contact them right away. Phone number on your screen, 616-527-5616.
This is 6 News.
A nationwide manhunt is underway right now for this man, Michael Elliott, and police say he escaped from a Michigan State prison in mid-Michigan. That is our top story this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jane Aldrich.
And I'm Greg Adeline. Police say that Elliott escaped the Ionia Correctional Facility Sunday night, where he was serving a life sentence for his role in 4 murders. After escaping, authorities say Elliott carjacked an Ionia woman, then took her in her Jeep to Middlebury, Indiana, where he stopped to get gas. Luckily, that woman was able to escape there and call 911, but Elliott got away and is still at large. Right now, police are conducting a search in nearby Shipshewana. That's where we find Nick Perot. And Nick, what can you tell us?
Well, Greg, Jane, right now multiple agencies are trying to find Michael David Elliott. Law enforcement from the Indiana State Police, Shipshewana, as well as the Grange County around here. Now, right now I am standing in Salke Downs apartment complex where police located that Jeep earlier this afternoon. I'm told they got a call around noon from someone that had recognized the vehicle around the area. They alerted LaGrange County law enforcement, who found the vehicle, but Elliott was nowhere to be found.
Joe Khalil's been following this story throughout the day, and he joins us now in the studio. And Joe, I think everyone's kind of wondering exactly how did this happen?
Well, Greg, it seems like something that you would never expect to happen, right? Police say this all began when Michael Elliott, dressed as one of the kitchen staff, and then sometime between 6 and 7 o'clock was able to somehow get past guards and then force his way underneath 2 security fences. Now, police didn't know he was even gone until after 9 o'clock during a routine inspection. Now, the prison at the Ionia Correctional Facility was once a maximum security prison, has since been downgraded to a multi-level security prison where they house inmates, some that are very high risk, some that are medium risk, though Elliott was serving life sentences for, as you said, very violently murdering 4 people. Officials tell us he was actually only a medium level prisoner because he was, they say, very well behaved in prison. Elliott was convicted of murdering 4 people back in 1993 and setting the home that they were in on fire. Now, 2 of those victims had a daughter. I actually spoke with her earlier today. She says the murder of her parents was a tragedy that took her a long time to work through, and all of a sudden, with one phone call from police last night, those memories came flooding back.
I haven't thought about him in a very long time. I forgave him a long time ago, and you know, I had to move on with my life, and because I carried so much anger for so long, and it took me to a lot of dark places, and I didn't want to be there anymore. So I did forgive him and moved on, and then it's just shocking to get a call out of nowhere saying that he's now escaped.
And authorities say Elliott should be considered dangerous. Michigan State Police are urging anyone with information or sighting of him to call 616-527-5616, the number on your screen. And be sure to stay with 6 News, both on air and online at WLNS.com. We will continue to follow this story as it develops.
This is 6 News.
He shot my mom in the face, and they set the house on fire. The possibility that he would escape from prison, it never crossed my mind.
The multi-state manhunt for a convicted killer is over.
4 counts of first-degree murder. He was serving a life sentence.
Less than 24 hours after he escaped from a prison 40 miles from Lansing, communities in 2 states can breathe a sigh of relief with Michael Elliott back behind bars.
It's a big weight off everybody's shoulders around here because people were walking around here on pins and needles all day.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Greg Adeline.
And I'm Sherry Jones. The search for a convicted killer who escaped from a Michigan prison is over tonight.
It all began last night when 40-year-old Michael Elliott managed to escape a prison where he was serving multiple life sentences. Elliott has been held at a prison near Ionia for over 2 decades until 7 o'clock Sunday. Police say Elliott disguised himself as a food service worker and somehow managed to get past guards, motion detectors, and 2 electric fences during his escape.
Now from there, police say Elliott carjacked a woman in Ionia, then took her and her Jeep to Middlebury, Indiana. That's where he stopped to get gas. And a security camera at the gas station captured these images of Elliott in line. Then while he was in line, police say the woman he abducted locked herself in a bathroom and called 911. She escaped the situation unharmed.
But Elliott took off from the gas station in the woman's Jeep, and that vehicle was later found parked at an apartment complex in Shipshewana, Indiana. The discovery of that Jeep prompted schools in the area to be locked down as police searched the apartments door to door, but were not able to find Elliott.
And hours later, Elliott was caught by police almost 70 miles away in LaPorte, Indiana. And that's where we go now. Nick Perot joins us live. Nick, how exactly did this manhunt finally come to an end?
Out of a parking space. State police tell us Elliott was the driver.
Sherry, Greg, right now, Michael Elliott is here in this jail cell in LaPorte, Indiana. Now, this all kind of started about 5:15 or so. Deputies in LaPorte got a call of a stolen black Monte Carlo from a nearby factory. They say a worker had left it running on idle, and then Elliott took advantage of that vehicle, jumped in the vehicle, and took off. The employee reported that stolen vehicle. Now, it was something that the deputies picked up on in a nearby area, tried to pull over Elliott in that car at a nearby church, but he continued to speed off around county roads, going anywhere between 30 and 80 miles an hour, leading police on a chase for about 15 minutes or so, but luckily was stopped by some spike strips and crashed into a snow embankment. Now, deputies say Elliott tried to escape them even at that point.
About halfway through to the driver's side window, wanting to get out, come out, but myself and Deputy Wright were able to pull him out from the vehicle and took him to the ground and cuff him up. So
now we are told right now that he is in that warm place in his jail cell at this point, facing felony charges of resisting law enforcement here in Indiana, as well as possession of a stolen car. Now, I am told he is held here right now. Now, in terms of whether he will be extradited or not, I spoke with Russ Marlin, the Michigan Department of Corrections. He said they've started that process, but if Elliott waives that, they'll have to have a hearing here in LaPorte. So make sure you stay with 6 News for that. But multiple agencies come together to make sure Michael David Elliott is behind bars this evening. A good feeling and a relief, as we heard earlier. For now, live in LaPorte, Nick Perot, 6 News.